My name is Katie Tomberlin, and I'm from Carteret County. This is Community Rising, Shoreside's environmental stories, broadcasting from the Working Narrative Studio. Coming up next are stories from coastal North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Caroline Bailey, a reporter for Community Rising. When we think of hurricanes, we often think of infrastructure damage, decreased water quality, and other environmental consequences. Larry Baldwin has been involved in the Waterkeeper Alliance for Coastal Carolina River Watch since 2002. He speaks about exactly what happens when a hurricane strikes and what comes next.
In this part of North Carolina, we are considered to be in what they call Hurricane Alley. And unfortunately for this particular hurricane season, it's already being predicted it's going to be above normal. We had 3 named storms this year before hurricane season actually started on June 1st. My name's Larry Baldwin, and I'm currently with Coastal Carolina River Watch. And under that umbrella organization, I am both the Crystal Coast Waterkeeper and I'm the Advocacy Director for the White Oak New Riverkeeper Alliance. So we started Coastal Carolina River Watch back in 2015, but I've been with the Waterkeeper movement since 2002. And I've been down here, like I said, since 2002. So I've gone through a number of hurricanes, some of them a lot worse than others. I'll go down this path first because it's a little bit of a strange one to talk about it. Hurricanes, I hope nobody shoots me for this, can actually be a benefit to a river system as long as it's not overly destructive. What generally happens with a lot of these rivers, coastal rivers, is that because of things like storm surge and just the huge amounts of precipitation and the directions that the wind blows or blows from, you actually end up in a lot of cases kind of purging your river or cleaning it out. All that stuff is taken out. And the problem with that is it's being relocated from one point to another. But from a river system, that cleansing process can actually be a benefit. The unfortunate side of that is all of the other destructive issues that come from a hurricane. So what happens then? So you're basically taking this water from a river system and now you're dumping it into what is essentially a bathtub, whether it's the Pamlico Sound or the Core Sound or the Back Sound or the Vogue Sound. So then your water does not move as quickly. The other problem with that, with the hurricane and with any major storm, can be the whole issue of sedimentation. So you have issues of what is now this change in water quality, the combination of sediment, of silt, of all the pollutants that are now in the water. So a hurricane in eastern North Carolina, not that it's any different from other places in a lot of respects, environmentally it's a train wreck because of the different types of damage and the different types of things that we put in its path. And again, unfortunately, these are usually communities of color, low income. You can still see the blue tarps on the roof because they are still recovering from the damage done by whether it's Hurricane Florence, Hurricane Matthew. If you have a home and all of a sudden you're now completely surrounded by water and you know that water is filthy and carrying all the emotional impact to you is not just for the time the hurricane's here. It's going to last for years, decades after. It's almost something that I would equate with the term PTSD. That emotional strain is extremely difficult. So some of the other long-term effects that we're seeing, but that we're also not preparing for what's coming next. Yeah, we are a resilient people. We've, North Carolina and other states up and down the coast have shown that over and over and over. But we need to start looking at what we can do to not even put ourselves in those situations to start with. And for this society to continue moving forward, we got to make some real changes because, this earth that we call home is not as infinite as I think people think it is. We're still trying to convince ourselves that we know better than Mother Nature does, and we don't. So if we don't start playing by her rules, then she is going to call us to court. And, for, excuse the way I put it, then there's going to be hell to pay.
You've been listening to Community Rising, Shoreside's Environmental Stories. This podcast is a special project of Shoreside's and Working Narratives. Do you have a story from our coast that you would like to share? Contact us at info@shoresides.org. Thank you for listening.